The war in Ukraine. Apart from the destructions and loss of lives, there is also something the war has caused.
Now we return to the humanitarian crisis that's rapidly unfolding. UN is now raising its estimates to at least 442,000 people who have now become refugees.
The UN is now estimating a total of 2.3 million people have fled Ukraine.
More than 3.5 million people.
The UN estimates roughly 10 million people are either displaced inside Ukraine or have fled to other countries.
But who helps these people? In the last couple of days, I've been searching and gathering the stories of some incredible people who are helping the Ukrainian refugees. Many unsung heroes right in Germany where I live, and even up to the border in Poland and several train stations. These are stories that will make you believe in humanity and what I'll call a silver lining in these precarious times. Welcome to the series I'm titling Unsung Heroes.
Hallo, herzlichen Dank. Ist vollständig?
Ja.
Wunderbar, danke schön.
Okay, dann mache ich weiter.
The first is Tobias, an entrepreneur, founder of the design and marketing company in Germany called Tango Lima. He and his team gathered thousands of boxes in the city of Wuppertal for distribution to the people of Ukraine in Poland and also in mainland Ukraine.
So basically we started this campaign which says you're packing boxes for survival. And what people do is they grab such a box and then they get a grocery list, because what is in the box is clearly defined. It's oil, wheat and sugar, so basic stuff that everybody needs in the kitchen. Today we have one big day to collect all these things, and we bring them here and put them on pallets. You see we already have 4 pallets over there, so this is roughly 200 boxes, and I guess today we will collect maybe 600, 700 boxes. We started this week and we distributed 1,500 boxes already to churches, to schools, to companies. We had some great support by Radio Wuppertal, which is the local radio station, and they announced this campaign throughout the whole week, and so we received many people came to the office of the radio station and picked up 1 box or 5 boxes or 20 boxes, and now they're bringing it back here. So this is basically what we're doing, and those pallets will be shipped to a warehouse later today. After we've shipped it to this warehouse, then we will collect more of the pallets, and then we will have trucks going to Ukraine or to the neighboring countries, like Poland, where a lot of refugees are right now, in order to help those people with basic food.
I had a moment afterwards with Tobias to understand why he mobilized such enormous effort for the Ukrainian people. His response was profound. Why did you decide to take this on personally? Why is this personal to you?
You know, there's 2 things, I think. One thing is, I mean, what if that war had started in Germany? I would be in the exact same situation like people in Kiev or Kharkiv are now. And they are just like me. So I imagine how would that be if I was in the same situation. And the second thing is, I've got 2 small sons, and maybe one day they will ask, what did you do in that time? What did you help? And now I can say, okay, I tried my best. And whether we get 1 package or 10,000 packages, I don't know. I'm doing whatever I can. And it's not about me, It's about doing this for the people of Ukraine. Because if I was in the same situation, I would love to have somebody help me, and I wanted to be able to tell my children, okay, we did what we could at that point in time.
The next story is one that came out of the blue. In fact, I was without my camera on this day, but I knew I had to find a way to share the story with you all. The kids of Wuppertal. A group of kids who came together, made waffles and sold them in their community, raising 1,050 euros in support of the Ukrainian community. I was in such awe of these kids taking such a significant and bold step, especially with their slogan which says waffles above guns. I asked their teacher what the money raised would be used for. Here's what she had to say.
We'll be using it for buying some plays or some books for school for the Ukrainian child in Wuppertal, because there are a lot of child without anything. They just came here with their clothes on and with their parents, and so we use the money we gain to buy them things for the school, or maybe to make a trip to the zoo in Wuppertal, or to see something from the city and to have a good time as much as we can help them to have a good time.
Before I go to the last profound story, there are some honorable mentions. I flew all the way to Poland to meet with volunteer organizations helping the Ukrainian people at the train stations, providing them with food and temporary shelter before they left for their final destination. But it was when I went to the border, I met two amazing Americans who flew all the way from the United States to the Ukraine-Polish border just to meet with the Ukrainian refugees and help.
So I grew up in Ukraine, actually. I lived in Ukraine until I was 12. My parents lived there. We're American, my family is, but my parents are missionaries. Because of their work, they lived in Ukraine, and that's where I grew up. So I lived in Kiev until I was 12. So that was the only home I really knew, even though I'm American. So I knew that I needed to help, and I really wanted to help the people. And obviously, it's difficult to go to Ukraine, but as we can see here, the problem is really pretty serious in Poland and with the refugees coming out of Ukraine. And I also work for an anti-human trafficking organization. So it worked out that I was able to come here for work because my organization is conducting regional assessments on the vulnerabilities to human trafficking amongst the refugee population here. Because what we've seen in the population here is that it is predominantly women and children, which makes them particularly vulnerable to things like human trafficking.
After speaking with Will, I met 72-year-old Mike, another American who left his business in the United States just to help the Ukrainian refugees at the Ukraine-Polish border. I asked Mike, "But you speak neither Ukrainian nor Russian. How are you able to help the Ukrainian people?" And Mike smiled and responded to me, saying, "I do not speak the language, but I can carry bags."
That's Alex, that's Joseph.
Алекс, добрый.
Добрый день.
Да, привет. Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Джозеф. Вы с Украины, да?
Да.
Я тоже из Украины.
Да, я вижу.
Как вы знаете?
You speak Ukrainian?
Yeah, I speak Russian. Yeah.
Russian.
Our final story is one of a woman by the name of Petra, who opened a warehouse with various basic supplies to help the people of Germany during the flood disaster last year. This year, she is using her warehouse to help hundreds of Ukrainian refugees and kids. I visited one of the families she's helping with not just basic supplies, but she also provided them a house. 17-year-old Vitaly and his father Alex, who due to his disability was permitted to leave Ukraine. But before I sat with them, I needed to ask Petra one question. Why did you decide to make this for the Ukrainian people and for the community? Because this is not an easy job. This is a very massive job that you're doing here.
Short answer. I'm a human, I will help. I'm a human who want to help. And that's what I want.
The world needs more people like Petra.
Es gibt ganz viele Petras. Da sind ganz viele LKWs auf dem Weg Richtung Polen. Die möchten das alle machen. Möchten alle helfen. Dass ich jetzt gerade so jemand bin, der auch bei uns in der Stadt hilft, ja, das ist halt so.
I thought to sit with Vitaly and Alex to understand what their ordeal was in Ukraine and how it's been going for them so far in Germany. Можешь мне историю, как вы убежали из Украины? Когда вы сразу уже понимали, что нам надо уезжать? Объясни, пожалуйста.
Ну, война в Киеве началась, как и везде в Украине, 24 февраля утром. С бомбежек и с определенных событий. Мы, в общем-то, не сразу принял решение о том, что надо уезжать. У нас просто был случай, когда это было в ночное время, когда, видимо, трудно, конечно, судить, что это именно было, но, скорее всего, сработала ПВО, противовоздушная оборона, и где-то вот недалеко от дома разорвалась ракета, и вот это было реально страшно. Вот. И после этого я решил, что надо уезжать, потому что мы еще ничего не видели, а уже страшно. То есть именно вот страх за жизнь, он способствовал тому, что мы приняли это решение, которое, в общем-то, нам было и нелегко, но, тем не менее, вынуждены были.
Больно было понимать, что все, что было до войны, уже никогда не будет. Это друзья, спорт, школа, выпускной у меня, за окончание школы. Всего этого не будет уже никогда. Если это будет, то когда-то, но уже по-другому и не так, как было.
Будущее Украины, это хочу, чтобы она осталась Украиной, чтобы я туда вернулся, чтобы я жил, была семья и все такое. Хочется очень сильно. Я оттуда уезжал, мне это больно было. Должен был уехать, потому что другого выхода не было. И все. И сейчас люди, которые находятся в Украине, мне их очень сильно жалко и больно за них, потому что они слышат все, взрывы, все это, они живут, они не могут выехать. Вот представьте, как сейчас пенсионеры и все это, они не могут выехать, они одни. Они сейчас вот только дома находятся и слышат взрывы и молятся, чтобы все было хорошо. Чтобы они остались живыми до конца войны. Дай Бог, чтобы она закончилась.
Фрау Петра возит меня на тренировки, это большая честь и большая удача, что так далеко от этого дома до тренировок возит. Если бы своим ходом, это очень далеко. А на машине это минут 30. А представьте, если на автобусе. Очень огромное ей спасибо за то, что она взяла на себя такую ответственность возить, несмотря на то, что это бензин, деньги, все это все за ее счет, и это огромное ей спасибо. Дает возможность мне тренироваться и не пропускать тренировочный процесс, войти в форму, зная, что я месяц не тренировался в Украине.
I do not know when the war in Ukraine will end. It is a fact that my life and the millions of others who live in Ukraine has been forever changed by these circumstances in the last few weeks. But if there's something that should also be on the forefront in these times, I believe it's the beauty of humanity. The incredible love and support that's been shown for the Ukrainian people and refugees. I strongly believe that in our imperfect world, good will always conquer evil. Yes, good may suffer for a while, but good will always win.